You can build websites in WordPress following two pathways, the developer pathway or the designer pathway. We don't need to argue over which is best, you just need to pick one and stick to it. This video will cover the developer pathway. In my next video, I will cover the designer pathway. If you want to become a WordPress developer, then you need to learn the fundamentals of website development. This part has nothing to do with WordPress as yet, but you need to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. There is no better place to learn these fundamentals, in my opinion, than W3 Schools. This website has been around for ages, but with YouTube and everything else, most persons are not using it, but it is still one of the best ways to begin. The reason for this is because when you're learning from W3 Schools, every single lesson, every single part of a lesson also comes with a try it yourself section. In this section, it actually opens up a dev environment within your browser where you can practice the thing that you just learned. So you're not always keeping track of a big continuous project. Everything is split out into its own section and you're learning just that one specific thing that you can practice right then and there so that you understand. That being said, it's modern times and AI does exist and you need to use it to your advantage. At this stage, the way you use AI, specifically ChatGPT, is to have it explain blocks of code to you. And what it will do is it will first tell you exactly what the code is doing, then it will go through literally line by line explaining things to you, breaking it down so that you can understand what is happening. It will give you the use cases, it will show you how it works, and it will also give you the next steps. Very, very important at this stage is for you not to take the next steps in ChatGPT. Don't ask it to do anything else other than just the explanation that you just got. Understand the block of code that was giving you trouble, then go back to learning. Once you have a solid understanding of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, next you need to actually build something. Do not move on to any frameworks at this stage. Build something, and from my point of view, I think you should build a real project. Find a friend, find a family member, find a local business, and build a real website for those persons. This will connect what you're learning from the classes to what actually happens in the real world. And what you'll discover is that once you start building a real project, then you'll start to hit walls. And with each wall, you're going to have to go back and learn the specific thing that you need to learn to move forward. This is how you get out of tutorial hell. Get a real project, start it, find out what your limits are, and then you're going to move past those limits by expanding your knowledge. If you don't have anyone that you can build a website for, go back to ChatGPT, ask it to give you the layout details and some functionality for a website in whatever niche that you want, and it will give you all the information that you need. This is the information that you would have gotten from your client that you would be, speaking to. Once you have that information, then you can go ahead and build out that site as if it was a real client that you're working for, and you'll get the same experience by hitting the walls at the right time that will prompt you to learn what you need to know in order to move on. Once you've completed your website, now it's time to install your local environment. And for this, you're going to install local WP. This will allow you to install WordPress locally on your machine, and then you can start bringing the website that you just built over into WordPress using PHP. For that, you're going to head on over to YouTube, search for Learn Web Code, then you're going to go to this playlist and you're going to go through this entire playlist. While you're going through this playlist, you can use your own website that you just developed in order to bring it over into WordPress. It is at this stage that you will learn the true power of WordPress, and you will have a different opinion than other persons who keep saying WordPress is just a CMS or any other thing that you've been hearing online. Learn here so that you can understand exactly what you can and cannot do in WordPress as a web developer. Now that you have your website in your local WordPress environment, it's time for you to get it online, and you're going to use a hosting provider to do this. I use SiteGround. You can use anyone that you want. The important thing is that you're doing this on a real hosting provider. You can host your site on something like Vercel or GitHub Pages, but real client websites are going to be hosted on something like SiteGround. So learning directly from here is best. Once you have the website hosted on SiteGround, you can start doing the things that you need to do after a website gets launched. Things like Google Analytics, Google Business Profile, Google Tag Manager, setting up emails, SMTP, and also version control, because in most cases you will be the webmaster for your client and they will need web services, and it's very good for you to have some form of version control to track changes to the website. And finally, since you'll be building something real, you need to be taking notes. You need to be commenting your code. You need to also be making your personal notes. And to do this, get Notion. Notion will allow you to create pages for different topics, for different things that you need, so that you can always reference them in your next project. As a developer, you only build a new thing once and then you reuse it in other projects because you understand what you're doing. And that is it. This is, in my opinion, a very good way for you to get into this area. Stay tuned for my next video where I'll be talking about how to do this using the designer pathway. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video helped.